Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we conclude our guide to grind on the ST-2. So this is going to be featuring the IS-3-2 and the SD-2 itself. So we're going to start off with the IS-3-2. Now before we sort of kick on with what it's like and its good and bad points, the equipment I run on it is optics, vert stabs and vents, so you can't run gun runner on this because it's an auto loader. The perks, you've got born leader, rapid reload, 6th sense, steady aim, snapshot, situational awareness, trap mechanic, run and gun and armor angling. Now the IS-3-2 in my opinion is probably the best one out of the line, if I'm honest. I thought the IS-2-2 was good, but this one seems to be even better. Reasons being, I think it's got decent mobility on it. The alpha's quite nice as well when you've got the top gun, and the DPM isn't that bad either. Like I say, the good feature is when you're using the single shotgun, you don't feel like you're on reload for that long. So yeah, it is quite nice. Obviously when you use a double barrel mechanic, you are going to be on reload for quite a significant amount of time, which is natural because if that wasn't the case, then the tank would be ridiculously OP. We're getting a nice shot into that Ragnarok there. So yeah, it's you're not really low for too long. As I said, you've got great turret armor. The armor overall isn't too bad. It can be quite effective at side scraping as well. You've got good gun depression, 8 degrees of gun depression on this tank, so that's quite nice. You can play the ridge lines effectively well enough. The shell velocity is absolutely fantastic on the AP and APTR rounds. I think the APTR rounds you got over like 1200 meters per second, and the AP itself is just over 1000. So that's actually quite nice for a heavy tank. Usually heavy tanks sort of quite on the derpy side. Shell velocity usually isn't that great, so it's quite nice to have that in a heavy tank, I think. The bad points of the tank. So for me, I actually think, the penetration values aren't that great. And the poor view range as well. Being a Russian heavy, you kind of expect it, to be fair. View range on a Russian heavies, Russian tanks in particular, usually isn't that great. And then you do have a bit of a long aim time, but again, it's to be expected. Nature of the beast, it's got to have a few downsides. So overall though, I just think the tank itself is genuinely quite nice. And it was quite enjoyable to play, to be honest. So yeah, it's not really much to add on that, to be fair. So kicking on with the replay then. So we are on Vineyards and we are mid-tier, or I think potentially bottom tier in a tier 10 lobby. But either way, we've got tier 10s to fight, and we've not done too bad so far. We obviously took care of that Ragnarok, so yeah, we are mid-tier. Thinking back, we dealt with that Ragnarok quite well, and so far we picked up just under 3k damage with 917 assists. You blocked over just 2k as well, so here I'm sort of dicing with death a little bit, I guess, but the death star isn't too much of a problem. The IS-3 decides to completely overpeak round there, and me just backing off. I know my teammates behind covering are going to take care of him, and that's exactly what they've done. Sort of playing this spot quite effectively. We're just sort of showing enough turret armor. We do take a shot from the Death Star there. A bit unfortunate, really. But yeah, I chanced that and I didn't get away with it. So it is what it is, but we do push on and we take out the 50 TP that was on a one shot. We do need to be careful now, so obviously we've only got 400 hit points left, and we're pretty much going to be a one-shot to everybody. Artillery is now definitely confirmed we are one-shot to pretty much everybody. Yeah, not ideal, but you know, we're going to push on. We have pushed quite aggressively as we get a nice fire into that tier 8 UDES there. Artillery is now hard focused on us again, because artillery just seems to be the nature of the beast at the moment. Artillery absolutely loves me, but yeah, it's to be expected, isn't it? But particularly when you're playing a heavy tank, artillery is always going to be a thorn in your side. But we're hoping that we can potentially get some shots on him when he gets lit up, as we get a nice shot into that T30 there for the grill to finish off. Picked up a nice little bit of assistance. You see we're just shy of 5k damage here, and we've got 2.3k assist. I'm trying to see if we can potentially get some more damage or assistance in the bag, and we're pushing over as quickly as possible. You see there we're just pretty much reaching our top speed of 38 kilometers an hour there. Artillery's got a little bit of health left, but this grill is no doubt going to get in there before me. Well, it's by certain going to get there before me and probably polish off this artillery. Bit of a shame, because I was hoping to actually put some retribution into that artillery, but unfortunately we don't get that chance. But we're going to move on now. We're going to try and see if we can find the remaining medium tank and tank destroyer. And unfortunately they're over the other side of the map, but it's an E4, so there is a chance that we may be able to get some more damage out yet, but he gets shut down by our friendly Barask, and the other tank gets shut down by our artillery. So we end up getting the victory there, but we do come top of the board. Like I say, we're just under 5k damage, 4 kills, 2.3k assisted with 2.1k blocked. Yeah, we had an absolute barnstormer of a game there. Real nice one for the IS-3-2, picking up the ace tanker in the process. So yeah, like I say, nice end to the IS-3-2, which, like I say, for me is probably the best one in the line. I did enjoy that tank. But anyway, we move on to the final replay, which is the ST-2 itself. Now, looking at the equipment, we run exactly the same as the IS-3-2, because again, can't have gun rammer on, can't have gun rammer on an autoloader. And on the perks, we run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, 6th Sense, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Situational Awareness, Track Mechanic, Clutch Braking, and Off-Road Driving. So we've gone for, the last two perks is to try and improve the mobility on this tank. I don't know why, it's weird, but this tank is actually faster on paper than the IS-3-2, but it feels slower. And I think it's got a lot to do with the terrain resistance and power to weight ratio. I think they are slightly better on the IS-3-2, which is why that tank probably is going to feel and act a little bit quicker than the ST2. So yeah, for me, it's quite a bugbear of mine, with the ST2 just feeling a bit sluggish. It does have very good turret armour though. It's effectively an STI turret, with a double barrel gun stuck on the front of it. So yeah, you can go hold down and obviously use your turret armour to great effect. I think it's the same as the IS-3-2. You got 8 degrees of gun depression again, so like I say, good for the ridge lines, most definitely. We did get a shot into that bar there. Like I say, the bad one's sluggish. Power to weight is a bit not as great as the IS-3-2. More ground resistance, making it slower. It doesn't have great view range, but not so surprisingly, because obviously it's a Russian tank. You do have slower shell velocity in the Ice 3-2 as well, and you do end up having heat rounds as opposed to APCR on your premium rounds. You do have the AP, but they are, both shell velocities are sitting just below 1,000. I think sort of 950 meters per second. So yeah, not great, but not terrible. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, I guess. But obviously, it's going to be a little bit different to what you're used to with the IS-3-2. The standard penetration is average. The heat rounds aren't too bad. I think heat rounds 310, 320 penetration. You have got a bit of a long aim time, and the gun does feel quite dirty, I'm not gonna lie. So it's a weird one really, because the stats of paper show it as effectively being a little bit better than the IS-3-2, but for me, I think the IS-3-2 is a lot better. Personally, I think this, I'd probably say it's just a bit underwhelming. I can't even put my finger on it. It just does feel a bit underwhelming. It feels dirty. It feels sluggish, and it's one of those where you need a long game, I think, to really make it effective. Potentially, sort of maps like Ghost Town, those sort of maps, Himmelsdorf is where you can potentially get the best out of this tank. Because let's say nice, sort of small maps, you can get into the fight quite quickly. And that's when you can start sort of rattling the double barrel gun off. The double barrel feature is obviously an absolute meme in itself. When you get the right opportunity to use both barrels, I think you can actually get over 1,000 hit points of damage by activating both barrels. And yeah, so and single shot, I think, is again sort of 500. I think 500 alpha. I think on your single shot. So again, it has got some ridiculously good alpha. It's just, like I say, making the shots land. So on the replay here, we're on Overlord, and we've just taken a huge chunk of our own hit points out by making that drop a little bit too ferociously there. But we wanted to sort of keep up the pace and try and stay in the fight as much as possible. We've come over to the beach side now because we've pretty much cleared the top. We're going to try and see if we can get a shot into this T114 bat, which we do, picking up our third kill of the game. And we're going to move into try and see if we can get some shots on these guys cresting up from the beach here. And we did get a shot into the side of the 50 TP. Went to reload, couldn't quite take him out, unfortunately. But we do put him down to a one shot, which I believe he does get taken out there. So yeah. And just to reiterate, actually on the damage side, I was wrong. The ST2 is actually 440 per shot. So yeah, you can do sort of nearly, between 900 and 1,000 damage. 1,000 if you do high roll. So yeah, it's like I say, a nice feature that you can use. And again, it's knowing when and where to use that double barrel. I mean, this situation now, it's a good time potentially to use it with one tank left. I don't know how much health this guy is on. I think it's an E4 if I remember rightly that's left. So yeah, we're just gonna obviously assess when we get over there to see if we can use the double barrel feature or not. But like I say, it's one of those where it's great for cleaning up tanks, if they're sort of between that 440 and 880, 900 alpha range. You can sort of switch over to the double barrel and finish that guy off, which can be worth it sometimes if we want to get tanks out quickly. So back to the game then, and it's not been too bad. We have picked up 4 kills. We got just over 4.3k damage there, with a little bit of assistance, and just under 1500 blocked. And now we're just sort of trying to get on with the hunt, try and find the E4. I suspect he may well be, I mean, there's two places he can be. It's either one spawn and the other, really, because we've kind of checked. We know he's sort of not round near the base because we've come through there. I'm pretty certain he's not on the right hand side, because if he was sort of heading towards our artillery, he probably would have been spotted by now. But we're going to make our way over here and try and see if we can light him up. Like I say, get that bit of assistance and potentially get a bit more damage out. So, doesn't seem like he's over here. So the only place really he can be is the beach. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I will speed this up and I will get to the bit where we can actually sort of find the enemy tank and see how we get on with it. So there we go, we found the E4 camping on the beach here. I did think he was AFK, to be honest, but then he decides to turn his turret to us, and in typical true E4 fashion just slaps. I assume he went for our cupola, and yeah, unfortunately we're now in a bit of a sort of a sticky situation. Going to try and see if we can potentially go through his turret. We bounce his cupola and he bounces off our turret. Now we're going to see if we can stick the net shot in, which we do. Was trying to sort of hope that we could hit his Armour rack. Unfortunately, the second shot tracks him in place and doesn't actually penetrate. We just tracked him, but then he does get taken out by our friendly Foch. But unfortunately, he got us first before we could get him. We just didn't quite aim our shot properly there. So we get 4 kills. We end up picking over just over 6k damage there, which was a nice game. 743 assists and 2.3 blocked. And we picked up the first class and the high caliber as well. So a nice end to the video. But yeah, that was it for the grind, guys. Not a bad grind in sort of overall looking at it. And yeah, it was okay. I wouldn't say it was completely amazing, but yeah, the IS-2-2 was good, and the IS-3-2 was definitely the best one out of a lot. But I just find it's one of those grinds where you get to the tier 10, the ST2, and yeah, you just feel a little bit underwhelmed and a bit flat. So, but see how you guys get on. If it's sort of if heavy tanks are your thing and auto loaders, you might well enjoy it. So, but let me know what you think in the comments, guys. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, because it does help the channel. And of course, I'll catch you next time.